Everybody, welcome back to the channel. WordPress 6.8 Beta 1. Been a while since we've talked specifically about WordPress and looked at some of the cool new features coming to the CMS, or maybe lack thereof. And WordPress 6.8 is taking a bit of a pause in cool feature shipping. Maybe if you're a hardcore developer or engineer, you might disagree with some of the bug fixes and maybe API changes coming. So there's not a whole heck of a lot happening right now for WordPress 6.8, which is slated to launch April 15th, 2025. We have Beta 1, which was just released yesterday. And what I want to highlight today is a reminder on how to play with WordPress 6.8 or any beta heading into the future, and then look at some of the information that the team at WordPress.org has posted to give you an idea of what you can look at to test. So if you go to playground.wordpress.net, you can boot up your own version of WordPress in a browser and start playing with it. You start adding plugins, themes. It's a great way to test and learn WordPress. Up in the right-hand corner, there's a little gearbox. We'll click that gearbox, get that print out of the way, click the gearbox, and we will select 6.8 Beta 1, apply settings, and reset Playground. And without having to install like the beta plugin of old, now this WordPress instance is running Beta 1 for WordPress 6.8, and we'll just double check that by going to Updates. You can see it right here. Going back to the blog post on make.wordpress.org, there is a call for testing, as what we should always be doing when we're getting ready to launch a new version of WordPress is to test things out, see what's working, see what's not, right? So if we go to this blog post, there is a few things that the team is looking at. And this is a great sort of bird's eye view of what has been changed and updated coming into WordPress 6.8. Some minor design improvements, things with like the style book, reset button, zoom out mode enhancements, polishing the query loop, ignore option for sticky posts, refining data views, and API launches and iterations. Again, that's going to be much more for the developers out there. So you can use this as sort of the barometer of how exciting this change might be. I'm not taking away from anything in terms of like the effort and what the team is doing, but we're always looking ahead to how do we get excited about WordPress, especially in the age of AI. WordPress 6.8 is looking kind of like filling some of the bugs and patching some of the holes that have been maybe ignored for the last couple of years. That's just my take. So if you want to look at refining data views, which is probably the most interesting area of this, I've covered this in the past before. This is a glimpse into where the whole admin is going in the future. So if we go to Playground, Appearance, and Editor, again, if you're already using the native WordPress editor and you're building block-based themes, this stuff is probably very obvious to you. But for those that haven't seen it, if you click into something like Pages, this is just a tiny glimpse into what our future admin might look like. So publish, schedule, draft, all on this left-hand side. Looks nice and clean. You can look at stuff in a grid, so you can see your pages in a grid. You can refine this information here. And that's basically what they're calling for you to test, like test this stuff out, test data views and see how you interact with it. And if you have feedback, certainly give them feedback. So this is where we're at with WordPress 6.8, at least in Beta 1. I don't know if anything major, an additional major enhancement or feature is coming, but just sort of like a nice little pause in WordPress iteration and feature development. So I'll have these articles linked in the show notes below, so you can go ahead and check out some of the areas that you should be testing. Again, not a lot of cool front-facing features to show off today. As always, you want to also keep up with Gutenberg and its development and what's coming in 20.3. Again, just a couple interesting things here, which is that ignore sticky post, which is in this beta, and adding things like Discord. But you can always, or Discord social icon. But one of the cool things about Playground is you can always get the latest in Gutenberg by allowing network access, apply. We'll go to plugins, install Gutenberg, activate, and then go to Gutenberg experiments. And you can see all of the upcoming sort of, well, they're just called experiments here, but you can enable and disable these experiments to really get really ahead of the curve of like what features might be getting into future core versions of WordPress. So the Playground is a great place to do that. I've always said that throughout this channel, playground.wordpress.net. Boot up your own little version of WordPress in the browser without upheaving your own WordPress instance or paying for one, and play with Gutenberg and some of the beta releases to see some of the stuff that's coming down the track, no pun intended. WordPress 6.8 beta 1, WordPress 6.8 being released mid-April. Check it out. Let me know what you think about WordPress these days in the comments below. Thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you want more. We'll see you in the next video.